I apparently am cursed by the demon of Murphy's Law. What am I, like 2 hours into doing this now? This on top of starting my day angry because of that. So I'm going to talk about that. And I'm also going to talk about news from OPEC. First up, the OPEC news. OPEC is meeting next weekend to discuss their July production, and there may be an increase. For some reason, they're constantly increasing production by 411,000 barrels per day. I want to know why it's 411,000. It's a very strange number. Anyway, they're meeting for the July output next weekend. The lower the price goes, the more they squeeze the profit margins for the companies out in Alberta. As those profit margins fall, people's jobs are at risk. I fully expect production to increase. I fully expect them to try and put people out of work, put companies out of business, regain market share. All right, can we please stop scapegoating the federal government? The federal government does not control the price of housing. Canadian government has to allow home prices to fall to make housing more affordable, experts say. Except the Canadian government doesn't control the price of housing. The Canadian government is doing nothing to bolster the price of housing. All due respect, Dr. Mike Moffat seems like a very qualified economist, and he's the founding director of the Missing Middle Institute. They have the Missing Middle podcast, and I've tagged them in this video. And this is a true statement. The short answer is no. It's simply not possible to restore broad-based affordability to the middle class without prices going down. And then he goes on to say, if home prices are stable for the next 20 to 25 years, wages will eventually catch up and affordability will return. Only one problem. That's the cost of the house. The pure cost of the house. I picked this house because I've been in this house recently. It's $695,000. It's a very nice house. It's a brand new Doug Terry bungalow in St. Thomas. That's a perfect example of a brand new, affordable home. That's one of the lowest price homes they have. First, let's talk profit margins. Okay, this is from 2022. And since this article was written, profit margins have gone down because the market has gone to shit. But in this article, they point out that our profit margins are lower than in the US. And the last number here is 13.2%. But like I said, profit margins have gone down close to this 12% range because the market has slowed. But let's go with 13%. That's a brand new home, so there's HST on that. That's refundable to the builder. So the actual sale price without the tax in there, this house, about $650,000. $650,000 minus a 13% profit margin means the pure cost to the builder for that house is $565,500. Is that all of a sudden affordable? So if we get rid of HST, which is what the government can control, and we somehow mandate no profit in the building of a house, that's the cost of a house. Oh, but there's land fees. Land fees pay for the sewer and the street lights and the curbing. It's not like paying fees just goes off into the ether. That's wood, bricks, concrete, shingles, windows, carpeting, laminate, cabinets, garage doors, furnace, grass, driveway. That shit adds up. It adds up to $565,500 on that house. Now, the plan to build more modular homes, that's a good idea. Why? Because if you move towards modular and mass production, you can buy those materials in bulk and therefore get a better price. So material cost comes down. But it ain't going to come down that much. Now I always talk about rent, right? And this is from November. It talks about the backlog of landlord-tenant board here in Ontario. 53,000 cases. Do you know what 53,000 cases does? It takes units off the market and it keeps the rental prices high. What are you paying for rent? $2,000? $2,500? Well, it's 400,000 mortgage, 5 years, 4.64 is 22.45. So, I mean, mortgage rates can go down, amortization can go up, but 400 grand is about $2,000 a month. So that could cost you about the same as rent if you had $300,000 to put down. And if we got rid of taxes and profit, you'd still need 165 grand down. How? How is the government supposed to make this affordable? This is a modest bungalow. How is the federal government going to make that affordable? We need to stop pointing the finger at the federal government because the federal government is not the problem. We need to embrace that everywhere across this country, every locale has its own economic drivers for the price of land. We need to embrace that there's a material cost that the federal government can't do anything about. We need to embrace that there's a labor cost. Like, are we suggesting slavery build this house? We have to ask why on almost every component in this house to try and drill down and figure out how to make a home more affordable. Pointing the finger at the federal government won't fix this problem.